Hello everyone, this is Leimomi Keliikuli, intuitive soul alignment coach here, and I wanted to make a video to share more about how what you may be doing may be actually creating more kind of miscommunication or misunderstandings in your life or your business. So if you're just listening in, just say hello, just so I know that you're listening. And today's topic is I do want to talk about why you can feel like misunderstood in your communication, in your intimate relationships, and any of your business relations, which kind of like you end up with like free clients or moochers, we call them, people who just kind of like steal your time and money away without you even knowing. And the root cause of this is actually so much more deeper, and it has a lot to do with being aligned in your soul's blueprints. So let me just introduce myself. I'm an intuitive soul alignment coach. So I basically help my clients to see where they are taking action that maybe not be aligned to their soul, and giving them their unique soul's blueprints so that they can show up more authentically, and basically, get to where they want to create in their dream life in epic time. So one of the things that I think we have to understand about when we are not aligned to our unique soul's design, this causes a lot of relationship issues, miscommunications, that end up in this kind of way of you feeling you have to give, and you're not getting paid in return. So one of the reasons actually it comes deeply from you actually having this kind of like soul level block. And the soul level block has a lot to do with you energetically having this energetic noise all around you that stops you from actually taking action in the right direction. And usually we can take a lot of actions, but if it's not aligned to our soul, we can end up with a lot of disempowering situations that keeps us distracted, like procrastinating, to not actually doing your marketing when you know that you should, to various ways that you can kind of like keep yourself small. So, but one of the root cause is actually it's a soul level block, and not a lot of people understand this, and so I wanted to kind of like live stream to kind of explain what that all kind of means. So, usually when we as a soul have had a lot of disempowering situations or some trauma when we were young, we can tend to hold on to all of those negative emotions and thought forms that doesn't allow us to fully express ourselves when we become adults. So basically, like having this shell could be like that one thing that's like keeping you from being visible. And it's actually what keeps you very stuck in all kinds of relationship drama. I mean, like intimate relationships, your marriage, to your like how you relate to people, like in general, and how they relate to you. It's all deeply connected with you being connected to your soul. But a lot of people don't think that. They think it's something outside of them, and there's like that outside problem, and so they just react to that kind of drama. But actually, it creates more drama, creates more disempowerment, and it creates this kind of way that you feel like you have to like give and do things for free, or just not really getting the value of what you actually want. So when I actually started my business, over this past year, I noticed there was a trend in what people were like having issues with. And because I've done over 400 plus free strategy sessions, and it was a lot because I wanted to do those readings to look at people's divine soul blueprints so I could understand why people get stuck at certain levels in their life or their business. And when they're incredibly stuck in this kind of like catch-22 kind of situations where they really feel misaligned, like no matter what they do, it just feels like they're so disconnected, right? I'm sure like we've had times where you felt like that, where you felt disconnected from your soul. And unless it gets really, really bad, then we of course think like, okay, I got to go fix that. But before this happens, I can share with you like how that would look like before you get into that misalignment, right? So one of the reasons that you can get really frozen in being visible in your business or feeling blocked by any kind of like ego sabotage kind of showing up, you may even have disempowering, again, chaotic relationships. So this is why actually I created this clearing, this activation that can actually remove this specific soul level block instantly, because I was just like tired of hearing people saying how they're feeling misaligned. And what I found is that people are wearing this energetic shell. So I created this shell removal and activation clearing, and it's been amazing results that's happened over and over and over again when I removed their shell and activated some dormant parts of what their soul is made to serve and how to help them, connecting them to their energetic body, expanding their energetic field, releasing all of that like negative emotions or trauma that's like surrounding them. So people kind of like, essentially when they get this thing removed, is people instantly feel like going from chaos into this kind of like peace of mind, and the clarity of them like starting to take action in their life and business. It was just phenomenal just by removing that shell. And I get hundreds of messages from people saying like, you saved my marriage, to like I feel completely peaceful, to my panic attacks are gone, to I lost 20 pounds, to I finally like found my soulmate, to finally then taking action in my business, and I feel like my head is very clear. Money started to flow to me. I have all these full ideas, and I just like feel really like on fire. And this all was happening like where they were in action for years, until they finally realized like, oh my God, like this is what's been keeping me small and what I haven't been able to show up fully. So this is actually one soul level block that I help people to clear, and it basically like gets you directly in your heart again. And that energetic noise that was like surrounding you, which are usually worry or irrational fears or these kind of plaguing emotions that keep you very small, like we don't realize how powerful, we have embodied this shell around us. So I didn't realize how powerful this was until I started to speak to helping bigger families and people in their businesses. And what I noticed is that it instantly, when I removed their shells, it instantly like went from very chaotic situations to like very peaceful and deep connections. Like they could finally like hear each other. Which is so amazing because they absolutely like changed like 360. So what I've realized, like the more I study the soul, the more like fascinated I am about like how we can like be so disempowered by not being connected to our first main gift. And that main soul's gift is actually what brings in the most abundance for you. It's the part of your soul that needs to be completely embodied in order for you to, create the right amount of money, to have feeling valuable, making impact in the world. And the reason is because you actually are aligning to your main gift, your first main gift. But when you're aligning to your second and third, it causes a lot of chaotic relationships to kind of like distract you from being in alignment to what you actually want, which is being in line to the first gift. So without actually knowing your soul's blueprints, it can be one of the reasons why you end up in a lot of this miscommunication. And so this is why I created my 3-hour recording of everything that I know of what your soul's blueprints are. And I look it up in your Akashic records, and this has been very helpful for people just to know like how they can own their main gift, right? Like how they're meant to serve the world. And it just creates this peace of mind that like you can actually go after what you want. But when you are going towards that and you have all of these blocks, right, this kind of soul level blocks like stopping you from showing up, usually it starts with first that you're using this shell, and this shell is like what's keeping you small. So once we remove the shell, this is when like your ability to connect with your soul is so much more deeper. You can actually hear, and sometimes even some people told me that for the first time in years they could actually like hear what their soul actually wanted, but all this time they were just in this complete confusion. So if you kind of have been feeling like really misunderstood, and that that all of these kind of like free moochers, right, or people that are either they're either very jealous of you, or they are like just taking up your time, like they just want free stuff. It usually is so much more deeper than you think. And what I found is it's about actually you feeling the need to play like small in a certain area in your life, right? So if it's your business, obviously you won't be visible, you won't make money, like enough money, you'll be in feast and famine. You might not even have a strategy behind what you're doing. And so it's like this common theme of like attracting the same like-minded people, right? Who just don't pay you, or they expect something for free from you. And even if you do ask them like, to pay you, they go all haywire about it, right? And the reason is because you need to deal with the fact that you are trying to keep yourself small. And the reason you're keeping yourself small is because of the shell, right? So when we remove this shell, you can instantly like start to feel this expansive part of you being more expressed. And then what happens is later on, what you end up doing is you're like constantly like in this training mode, right? Like I got to take that next course. I got to learn something new. I got to prepare before I go launch that course, right? When really what you need to do is just be really responsible for your own well-being, for your business and making money in your business, and like really turn more into a sovereign being, which is like you are the boss, right? You are the one that's creating the situation, and you're the one that can get yourself out of it. And so what people tend to do is they tend to think like, oh, somebody's going to save me, like someone's absolutely going to pay my bill, or is going to like give me that free thing so that I can have, I can keep my apartment, or things like that. It just never ever works. And the reason is because you're holding that energetic shell around you, and you're like constantly trying, right? Trying all kinds of courses, all kinds of things, and thinking like that's gonna work, and then it doesn't, right? And so what happens is you get completely misaligned by other people, right? Asking them for their like opinion about like what kind of things you should do in your life, but really it's all up to you. So you have to actually stand in your power and really ask for the things that you feel you're worth, right? So if you are like not in a space where people are taking up your time, then it has a lot to do with you not owning your value, not seeing really what you truly can share with the world, right? So it all stems back again to you playing small. So why are you playing small? Like, why are you keeping people keeping people at a hand's distance, right? Or you are like overdoing it by like being around people too much, and like they are wishing and wanting you to save them, right? These are all kind of effects of you not really communicating from who you are at soul level. So this is why you need to know your soul, your divine soul blueprints. I've come across with so many people who have been totally like at a dead end, right? Like dead end struggles with being misaligned from their business coaches to their partners to like whoever is telling them what they should do, right? And how they should market, how they should sell. But our soul is so super unique, right? So especially I found like some souls are super strategic. Some souls are very linear. They have to do things step by step, right? And some souls don't even have to have a plan. They're just super process oriented. They're organic. They just have to like try it and see what happens, right? But we have to remember that doesn't always pay our bills, right? Because if we want consistent income, you have to fully understand how your soul is designed first. And that's what I call soul alignment, soul and business alignment, finding directly what your soul is. when you hear your 3-hour blueprints, it's like, and this is what I've created because many people have been telling me, like, they know that what they are soul level, but then they're not making money. And I'm like, why aren't you making money? And always it turns back to they're not doing the way their soul is designed to do something. And every time when I look in the records, I'm like, wow, like, I thought like this person was going to be, this as their first gift, but actually I found out that it was actually like their third gift. And I was like, oh, no wonder. It's because most of the time when I go in your Akashic records and I'm finding this information about what your soul is, it's like everybody's aligning to the wrong gift. So when I go actually in a very neutral space and I look up what you are at soul level, it's like I'm just floored by what I find, because it's usually not what we think it is. And even as a psychic, like, I've tried it several times, and every time when the person tells me more information about who they are, it's like it's totally not it's totally what they're not. So if you are actually aligned to your first gift, you'll be making like millions of dollars. Like, you would be able to monetize, you'll be able to have more freedom, you'll be able to have all of these different things, right? So if you're not creating more money, more time, more freedom, and all of this in your life and your business, it's because you're not aligned to the way that your soul is designed. So I had this like one client, and she told me that on the outer world, like, everybody was all like expecting her to be in a certain way, and she just got so lost and so confused about how her soul really likes to operate in her business. And so she's constantly bombarded by her coach and by all these like friends and people saying like, try this and try that, and it was always like disempowering her, and she couldn't figure out like why. And so when I actually went in her blueprints, I found out that there's actually one very, very important part of her blueprint that makes her soul unique, which is she basically don't need to listen to anybody. She really needs to like listen to the way her soul is designed. And so when she honored her soul's gifts, her main soul gift, and understood that, like, it was so amazing to see her smile and be like, oh my God, this is like the first time somebody tells me I can be myself, And that's usually what happens is the more you're around people, and sometimes it's not intentional, a lot of times what we speak and we share about is not intentional. But having that kind of like extra noise in the background is one of the major reasons why people end up in more of this disempowerment, like free clients, right? People not buying, or they're not fully being able to show up in their life and their business, because they constantly have to push away things of what like they've attracted, right? So when I say like start doing who you are meant to be, I really mean it, because you have to realize that your soul is designed in a certain way, and it's a certain type of energetic quality that you are made of from source. So when I look on your Akashic records and I look at your first gift, I can tell very clearly like how to do your right messaging, to the right strategy behind your business, setting up your program and services aligned to your soul. Without that key piece, like, everything will not make sense. And you're going to feel like you're just like having all of these things, missing pieces in your life and your business that's just not working. And so then you just keep coming up with excuses why you can't do this, why you can't do that, and then feeling very misunderstood. And then you kind of deny and what I call like disown who you are, right? But our goal is to be more and more who we are meant to be, right? So when you start to actually align to the way your soul is designed, you actually make 10 times more money. And since I've been doing that, I've noticed I make 10 times more money than when I first started, charging very little money for what I was doing. And of course that was strategy. I didn't know exactly like the price points or stuff like that. But the more you're longer in your business, the more you have to see the different parts of your business model. You have to see what strategy you need to create so that people continuously buy from you, talking the right way so your ideal client knows that you're talking to them. Because a lot of time, even especially in this online world, we're talking in a general sense, but it never grabs anybody's attention, right? So if you're listening on here, obviously you're having probably issues and feeling misunderstood. And the reason behind that, feeling misunderstood in your relationships, or having these free people, right, It's because you don't know who you are. You don't know what you're designed to be. So the more you align to who you are, the more you're able to have better communication, better able to, monetize your gifts, better able to communicate with the people that you're meant to serve. And your life and business will become much more in balance. And the people that are following you, right, your community, will want to help you, will want to not just give things for free, right? They will want to actually pay for what you are meant to serve them, because it is directly your soul, your type of soul, that allows them to transform, right? This is what people don't get, is that we think that we have to compete against each other, but we never do, because even if you do have the same similar, like, first gift, every soul has different parts of their blueprints, and those different parts of their blueprints makes them so unique. So when I say like every soul is unique, I really mean it. I've never read somebody's blueprints where it's totally the same. It's never the same. And the reason is because God and Source made us that way. So why do we keep trying to be who we're not? It's because there's a part of us that wants to play small, that wants to live in our shell, right? This energetic shell, that wants to constantly doing training after training, take another course and that, right? And expecting, and then not getting the results. Is because you're not owning and being in your direct power and feeling the worth that you're meant to serve people with, right? So, if you're feeling like this is like what you've been wanting, or you've been like wanting to know more about, basically I can clear this of what you are at soul level with the shell energetically. And also I can, look up your blueprints so that we can figure out like, well, how are you meant to serve your people? How are you meant to show up? Even in your relationships, in your personal relationships, they all are deeply connected. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to my website, www.LeimomiKeliikuli.com. And on there you can see the shell and the also the programs that my group programs that I have, that I teach you how to align to your main gift, and also your full soul's blueprints. You get a 3-hour recording of everything about what you are at soul level and in your business and your life, right? So that I can help you figure out like ways that you can communicate better and have better relationships with people without feeling like you have to like be who you're not, right? I see that a lot. Like people gather and they feel like they have to be a different person every single time wherever they go, whether they're a mom or they're a daughter, or they are, a sister or a brother. Like we all feel like we have to be who we're not. And the reason is because you don't know the way your soul is designed. So when you start to align to your direct soul's blueprints, you're going to see that it's so much easier to show up, so much easier to break through these kind of like invisible energetic shell that you're living in, right? So once we've cleared that, you're going to be able to have more peace of mind, be more happy. Even some people, like I said, lost weight because they just felt more happier. They weren't craving sugar anymore, So really, if you're aligned to your soul, everything will become much more abundant as soon as you decide that that's the direction that you want to live, right? This is conscious living. So if you want to know more about that, also you can join my Facebook group, which is Soul Alignment Leaders for Conscious Living, and where you can see other people who really believe in this alignment. And also, I also do have a quiz that's on my website. So the quiz is about discovering your soul's gifts, and basically it gives you an idea of what your main gift might be, and how you can act upon it to find your peace of mind. And then those are going to be all the unique ways that you can still connect with me. And I hope this enlightened you. You got to have a better understanding that actually, you need to know what you're at soul level, what your soul is designed to do. You do need to remove that shell, because those are the things that are so essential to being able to show up completely without having this need to overgive and overgive. And the reason you're overgiving is because you're playing at a very small level that you're not meant to, and that shell is creating more noise than is necessary. All right, so I hope you have a beautiful day. Aloha.